In this video, I will explain how you can construct an Arduino Tetris game which can be played using a joystick. If you would like to build a version of Arduino Tetris which uses buttons instead of a joystick, you can take a look at my video which is at link 2 in the notes. You will need an Arduino Uno with a connecting cable, a large breadboard, a joystick module, a push button, an LCD, a trim pot, about 30 connecting leads, a passive buzzer, and a 270 ohm resistor. A 270 ohm resistor has red, purple, black, and brown colors on the side, but actually any resistor between 220 to 470 ohm should work fine. Also note that there are two types of buzzers, passive and active, and a passive buzzer will be green on the bottom side. You can find details of these components at link 1 in the notes. It might also be necessary to solder your LCD if this has not been done yet. You should also be aware that you may need a USB-C to USB-A adapter to download the program and possibly as a power source if you have a more modern computer. Before you begin constructing the device, you will need to ensure that you have the Arduino IDE installed. If you have not installed this yet, you can go to link 3 in the notes. Once this has been done, you will need to create a new script. Copy and paste the program, which can be found in a document at link 4 in the notes, directly into the new program in the Arduino IDE. Note that sometimes copying and pasting directly into the Arduino IDE can be problematic if there are issues with formatting. So if you have any problems, another option is to just download the Arduino INO file directly and then open it using the IDE. The INO file can be found at link 5 in the notes. You will need to add a file called pictures, which helps your Arduino play music through the buzzer. This is at link 8. You will also need to download two libraries. One, Liquid Crystal, can be found at link 6 in the notes. This library should already be included if you're using Arduino Uno, but best to download and import it to be safe. The other, Tromino, can be found at link 7. So now that you have downloaded the free files, then it's time to bring them into the Arduino IDE. First we'll do pictures, so we'll go to Sketch and choose Add File. Then we'll find it in our Downloads folder. Just click on it one time and choose Open, and now it's included as a part of the IDE. Then we go once again to Sketch and select Include Library, Add Zip Library. Once again go to Downloads, then we choose the second of the free files, which is Liquid Crystal. Actually this may already be in your IDE, but best to include it just to be safe. Go back to Sketch once again and then go to Include Library and Add Zip Library, and then we'll go Downloads and choose Tromino, which is a specific library which will allow us to run our version of Tetris. You are now ready to begin building your device. If you are new to breadboards, you may want to check out my video about breadboard anatomy first, which is at link 9 in the notes. Connect all the components exactly as in the schematic diagram at link 10 in the description. Be careful to push the trim pot, resistor, and jumper wires in all the way. Remember, the trim pot has two connectors on one side and one connector on the other. If you look closely at the schematic diagram, you can see that the red and grey wires connect to the top and the orange raw wire to the bottom. This should help you understand that the side with two legs must be at the top and the side with one connector on the bottom. It is also important that you connect wires to the correct pins of the Arduino and the correct pins of the LCD, so take your time. Okay, so now it is finally time to download. So we connect the Arduino directly to the computer using an adapter if necessary. Then we select this section and select Other Board and Port at the bottom, and just type in Uno on the menu to make sure that we have clarified that we're using an Arduino Uno. Click OK. Then we go back to Tools and we select Port, and you can see the 101 section. That's the one we're normally going to use it normally is one which has a number visible, the number of the port. So we can verify to make sure our code is fine. And then finally it's time to upload. You should see a light flashing on the Arduino as you upload. If it is working correctly, you'll hear the Tetris soundtrack playing. If you can hear sound but see nothing on the screen, then push in the potentiometer a bit further. You may also need to adjust it with a screwdriver. Another thing you can try is to carefully compare the define section of the program and the liquid crystal section of the program to the connections on your device. Trace each cable from the component to the Arduino port to ensure it's plugged into the right area according to the program. Also check each connection carefully against the diagram. This can take time and patience, but the end result will be worth the effort. Once you have completed the project, there's a few ways you can customize the code to kind of personalize things a little bit more. For example, you can press Command F in the program and just search for Arduino Tetris over here. And so you can actually change that and show whatever message you like when the program runs. And you can also say, sign it with your name. It's around line 1096. You can also scroll down a little bit further and you can put a message when the player's score is above a certain level. So for example, you can see if the player gets a score of above 250, then a particular message could show. In this case, it's simply congrats, but you could add a code, for example.